Hi, my name is Ormild and you are listening to the Millennial Perspective Podcast, a podcast that's dedicated to helping you better your life and the lives of people around you. I hope you enjoy this episode of the podcast. Hi, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Millennial Perspective Podcast. If you are new to the podcast, I have been sharing perspectives that are themed around a series called Understanding Leadership. I believe for leadership to benefit both the leader and the individual that they lead, leadership must first be understood. In the previous episodes, I have shared perspectives on the motive, the nature, the foundation, and the evidence of leadership. But in today's episode, I want to share with you two more principles that I believe you need to understand for you to flourish as a leader. So let's get started. So the first principle I want to talk about in this episode is the authority of leadership. You see, when you get into a leadership role, you are automatically positioned as an authority figure in the minds of the people you'll be leading. And every leadership position comes with a title. The title, regardless of what title it is that you have, whether it's CEO, CFO, project manager, cleaner, whatever the title is initially meant to inform what tasks or responsibilities are expected of the individual who will fill that role. But unfortunately, we are living in times when people have exalted titles over responsibilities. This has led to some people pursuing leadership because of the title, and they disregard the responsibilities that come with the title that they have. In their minds, the bigger the title I have, the more authority I get to have, which is a very detrimental viewpoint with regards to leadership. Now, before I go any further, let me define what authority is. Authority is the power or the right to give orders. It is the power or the right to make decisions. It is the power or the right to enforce obedience. That is the widely accepted definition. But allow me to disrupt it though. There is an unspoken authority attached to leadership. This authority, I believe, outweighs the one I just defined. And that authority, ladies and gentlemen, is trustworthiness. I believe trustworthiness is the ultimate authority of leadership, and I will explain. The truth is, once you become a leader, you get some level of authority. However, being a trustworthy person is the ultimate form of being a leader. When you are trusted, you will have authority. When you become a trustworthy person, or when people get to trust you, you will have authority over people to the extent that people will even be willing to put their lives on the line for you. That's extremely important to understand. When people trust you, they are willing to put their lives on the line for you. This is because you are a trustworthy person, or because a trustworthy person leads people with their best interest at heart. Here's how you get to win people's trust, or how you get to become a trustworthy leader if you're in leadership. You get to win or to earn people's trust by you leading people with their best interest at heart. With every decision that you make has their best interest at heart. And when you become such a person, you become an inspirational individual, and you naturally attract loyalty, regardless of the position. It could be a cleaner, you could be a project manager, it could be a CEO. Regardless of the position that you have, if you are trustworthy and you're doing things with other people's interest at heart, you will become an individual that commands or that attracts loyalty. So, as you pursue your leadership, don't overly focus on the title. Don't pursue, I want to have a sophisticated title, but focus on being a trustworthy leader. Build trust with the people you lead, or the people that you work with. That will be more beneficial to you. It's more beneficial for you to have the trust of the people you lead and the people you work with over having a sophisticated title. So please understand that the authority of leadership goes way beyond the right to make a decision and enforce obedience. The authority of leadership is the authority that I recommend that you have for leadership is being a trustworthy individual. The second principle I want to talk about in today's episode is the purpose of leadership. Now, this will have hundreds of definitions if you Google them. There's hundreds and hundreds of definitions of what the purpose of leadership is. So, what is the purpose of leadership according to the millennial perspective? Let me first clear this out and say, being a leader does not have just one purpose. So don't go out there and put me on blast and say this is what Ormild said is the purpose of leadership. Let me clear this out. Being a leader does not have one specific purpose, but I believe that the purpose of leadership has many facets. I will share with you guys the facet that I believe brings all these other facets together. That is creating solutions. So if you ask me, the underlying purpose of leadership is creating solutions. When your focus as a leader is to create solutions, you bring together all these other facets of leadership. And I will put it this way. Right now, the world is in desperate need of people who can not only identify problems, but can move ahead and create solutions to the problems. If you're in Africa or you're an African resident, you will understand there's a lot of, not just African residents, in fact, if you're in the world, you understand that there's a lot of people who are focused on identifying what the problem is. The problem is inflation. The problem is poverty. The problem is corruption. The problem is ABCD. And most of the times, these people are highlighting problems that we already know are problems. But what we need more of is people who, after identifying the problem, are able to set course of what the solution is. Some individuals in leadership, even in leadership roles, have gotten stuck on identifying problems and not finding solutions. And I believe beyond identifying what the problem is, a leader must have the ability to create solutions. There's a saying I like, and this saying goes, the greater a problem a leader solves, the greater the leader. This even fits into the title aspect I was talking about. Instead of, as a leader, pursuing the most sophisticated title, pursue the most sophisticated problem and find a way to solve that problem. Notice how this form of leadership focuses on problem solving and not on title acquiring. Be an individual that focuses on, this is the problem that's around, how can I find the solution? Forget the title that comes with it. Even if it doesn't come with the title, if you're a leader who gets to have the attitude of solving problems, believe me, the world will create a title for you that doesn't even exist. So let us be problem solving focused and not title acquiring focused. So don't pursue leadership for the glamour. Don't pursue leadership for the glory. And I say this because leadership is a lot of work. Leadership comes with a lot of responsibilities. I'll give an example of, there's an institution I used to work for. I was one of there was like about 6 of us. I was one of the directors in a youth ministry. And we had a lot of people try and jump on board saying, I want to jump on and also help out. I want to do ABCD. But the moment you accepted and brought people in and they saw the work that was required, most people would fade out. Like most people would just I'm not able to show up. Most people would fade out because leadership goes beyond the title. Leadership is a lot of work. So as you pursue leadership, take some time aside to identify what problem or problems you want to solve and how you will solve them. Once you have this figured out, believe me, you will be a trustworthy leader, you will be a leader who creates solutions. So, 2 takeaways from today's episode. Firstly, be a trustworthy person, whether you are a leader or not. Whether you're in a leadership role or you're just a mere individual in an organization, work to be a trustworthy individual. Secondly, be a solution-focused individual. Take note of me using the word individual and not leader, because once you become an individual that's solution-focused, once you become an individual that's trustworthy, whether or not you have a leadership role or leadership title, you will already be a leader. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Ormild, and you've been listening to the Millennial Perspective Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so that you get notified every time I put out new content. Enjoy the rest of your day.